Hi, it's Lee, and welcome to the Tesla Economist. I have admittedly been too focused on Tesla's future in regards to how much it relies on the 4680 sale. The 4680 is a magic product. It's a license to print money and make affordable EVs. According to Tesla, it will be the lowest cost cell for electric vehicles. This is why I was so excited about the product. It would simply catapult Tesla's EVs that much further ahead of the competition. It would give them a further $5,000 or so saving against all the competitors on the battery. The ability to reduce prices a further $5,000 and increase demand to a higher ramped supply. Then all the other associated manufacturing techniques that further improve Tesla's EVs due to cell-to-vehicle integration. It all made sense. Tesla was the largest auto company in the world. Their most expensive element in their vehicles were batteries. They consume more batteries than any other company on the planet. It seems inevitable for Tesla to research, develop, invest, acquire, or whatever was necessary in order to develop a more efficient battery designed around first principles. A battery that could be scaled to the numbers that Tesla need at a cost that results in making EVs more affordable to the masses, resulting in more supply and more demand. It seemed like the future of cell manufacturing for EVs, a no-brainer to pursue, except things are progressing much slower than we were told or hoped, to no real great success with the sales as of yet, in a way that can be measured within the company that will have any impact on sales or profits. We are, however, told that progress will be coming on this year and a lot more ramping next year, but we've heard similar predictions before. These previous missed targets were concerning me, as I felt so much of Tesla's future relied on these sales, and perhaps I'd been thinking too much about Tesla's 20 million vehicle target or transitioning the entire world as soon as possible. But it's not going to be the make or break. As in, even if Tesla took another 10 years to perfect the 4680 sales, it's not like they won't be growing within that period. What they said at Investor Day regarding Gen 3 was they will be able to use many different batteries and are not dependent on 4680. Now, aside from the 4680, Tesla do not make any other cells. They have partners around the world doing that for them. Panasonic and LG supplied 2170 cells for Tesla. They are, however, very capital intensive and take a long time to ramp up. Of course, 2170 form factor is now dated, as 4680 is superior, so none of Tesla's partners want to double down on capex for 2170 cells when there's already a superior version. Hence why companies like Panasonic and CATL are getting into 4680 form factor too. Therefore, the only way Tesla can really get any decent quantity of cells in the near future is going to be from LFP cells, due to LFP being that much simpler to manufacture and faster to ramp to scale. And all 4680 factories' production are currently earmarked. Texas's 4680 lines are for the Model Y and Cybertruck, and Germany will also have a line for the Model Y there. Therefore, it seems obvious that any new factories that Tesla launch soon will be for vehicles using LFP cells. I know there is the Giga Nevada expansion coming for the semi-truck that uses 4680 cells too, but we haven't been given any timelines as to when that will be built. It could be a couple of years away until we actually see some output, by which time hopefully 4680s are in high volume production. But LFP cells are a step in the wrong direction for the future of manufacturing, you might think. The future is about structural battery packs. It's required for Tesla's front and rear castings and parallel manufacturing process. Yes, but Tesla don't have to use 4680s. 4680 are a cell-to-vehicle structural pack. CATL are also making structural battery packs with their Sherlin, but instead of using the actual cell as the structure, CATL used the cooling ribbons as the structure instead, therefore leaving Tesla with a structural LFP battery that should be suitable for their Gen 3 production. And possibly even CATL's next gen of battery, their M3P cells, which are more energy dense. That would be the biggest game changer with cells that we've seen for some time. You see, we have this target of 50% growth year over year, and when you get in a few years, it starts to add up. Global cell production targets don't really meet Tesla's targets, unless of course they had a magic battery that could be produced so much faster and lower cost, which is what they're working on. But before then, Tesla can only grow as fast as the rest of the cell and battery industry. CATL is the only company capable of making enough batteries to supply Tesla in a way that is going to be noticeable to their sales. This is the only way. Sure, BYD may be able to supply a few, but for the big numbers, Tesla needs CATL. CATL also supply a lot of other car manufacturers too, but Tesla is by far their biggest customer, and Tesla can make purchases from them so large that CATL need to build new fabs just for Tesla. And we're hoping that the new CATL fab in Shanghai may serve Tesla in a big way. And now rumours of CATL building a new factory in North America with Tesla too. Bear in mind though, CATL are supplying LFP cells, which means lower cost, but also lower energy density, which means less range in electric vehicles. Then the other side is that if Tesla want big numbers, they need to lower prices or go into market segments where there are a lot more customers, an affordable electric vehicle to appeal to new car buyers who couldn't previously afford an electric car, or at least a half decent one. The easiest way to make something cost less is make less of it, as in make less car, a smaller car, a compact Tesla. Then you add to the fact that Tesla only have LFP cells available for this car, means that as it is smaller, it will weigh less, which means fewer cells are required in the battery pack. So that would obviously mean that a compact Tesla could get more range than a Model 3 with the same size battery due to it weighing less. So Tesla would likely make a smaller battery for the compact, perhaps 53 kilowatt hours, which is a number we just saw in the Master Plan Part 3 white paper, which would mean Tesla only need around 50 gigawatt hours a year of cells from CATL to make almost 1 million compacts a year. That's not too extreme a quote for today. That is not too extreme a quota today. And then Tesla will be on production of 3 million vehicles a year, but after 50% growth over 2 more years, then we're approaching 7 million vehicles, or around 5 million more than Tesla produced today. Even at 50 kilowatt hours a vehicle, that will require 250 gigawatt hours a year of additional cells. And CATL are ramping up for legacy autos too. Of course, if Tesla grew a further 50% the following year after that, then that would mean more than another 3 million cars required. According to CATL's growth targets, they're not going to be able to supply Tesla enough cells, and Tesla's growth would be limited to the pace at which CATL can grow. Tesla do have Panasonic to help with 4680s though, which will be an addition, but even with 4680 using the wet slurry technique for the electrodes when making the cells, makes ramping up the factories too time consuming to meet Tesla's mission. My point is that Tesla can likely ramp up Mexico and probably hit around 5 million vehicles a year in the next 2 or 3 years, and there should be enough cells even if Tesla has not been able to solve the dry battery electrode process for the 4680s. But eventually there will come a time, if Tesla want to continue exponential growth, that they will need an exponential cell production process. And they know this obviously, hence why they are spending so much time and effort on their in-house battery. I agree with a lot of you too, who say that Tesla should make their own LFP 4680 cell, especially when Elon is talking about 2/3 of EVs using LFP. I don't understand what the plans are for more 4680 nickel cells if this is the case. Perhaps it will just be for the Model Y, Cybertruck, van and semi-truck, or possibly the robot. And it was just a way of working out how to perfect the dry battery electrode process before Tesla scaled big time with their LFP production. Can you imagine a second battery day where they tell us they plan on making a half terawatt hour a year factory of LFP cells? Elon said they plan on making a terawatt hour cells just in the US. I guess there's no point making them yet until they've solved the dry battery electrode process. Anyway, my entire point was that even though so much is riding on 4680 cells, there are contingencies that can still take Tesla to a very profitable level. Perhaps we should do some financials on Tesla reaching 5 million a year without 4680 cells. My guess is even if Tesla hit 5 million in 2026, then it would still make the stock price today look like a great return. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.